Last week we toured part of this fabulous penthouse, but we didn't have enough time in one episode to show you all of its grand spaces.
Hi, I'm Joe Fava with Fava Design Group. Welcome back to our second showing of this 10,000 square foot apartment. We're looking forward to showcasing some of our other spaces that you haven't seen yet and how we changed from very traditional to a timeless transitional aesthetic.
Get ready to tour more spaces with a timeless, classic, and elegant feel on today's SoFlo Home Project. Welcome to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and welcome to part 2 of our fabulous penthouse tour. Last week we experienced just a taste of some of the grandeur of this property, and I cannot wait for you to see the rest because there's so much more. This 10,500 square foot penthouse enjoys 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and 3 powder rooms. With this much home, you're able to create some amazing gathering spaces for a luxurious lifestyle. Joe, it's so great to have you back with us here this week. Last week we saw some fabulous spaces in this penthouse, and now we're back for more.
Thank you for inviting us back.
I would say we're probably in what you would consider the formal living room in this penthouse.
Right, this is more the formal area where they would entertain. Good place to sit around and chat.
And now I want to go back a little bit to last week when you said this was a unit that you designed for the previous owners in a very traditional and opulent style, and then you worked also with the new owners on this space and even worked with some of the existing items but updated them.
That's correct. When we first designed the space in 2000, those clients really let us run free with the budget. So there's a lot of pieces that were top of the line 20 years ago that we wanted to reuse. So the existing clients purchased this unit furnished. So what we wanted to do is keep the best pieces and sort of reimagine them. So for example, this chair used to have a gold finish. We changed the finish and changed the fabric and sort of reimagined the chair.
And brand new, beautiful chair. And again, you kept, we were talking about the theme of timeless and classic. So it totally is timeless because you've even reused the piece. And I love that the way you can continually redesign a furniture piece. I mean, simply changing fabric and finish. As designers, we love that because we can recreate. And the clients love it because the homeowners love it because it saves them cost and gives them a quality new piece. Joe, so lighting can also be very timeless, and you kept this piece, and it's like this is a crystal chandelier that I feel like really stands the test of time.
It does. This chandelier was from Jerry Pear, and it has a beaded motif, also rock crystal, which you can see here.
Yes, I love rock crystal.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
And also you really kind of created a great seating area. The room has a bit of a curve, which we know can be a little bit of a design challenge sometimes. What were some of the challenges that you faced when creating the seating area with the sort of curved wall as well?
Well, one thing that you notice is that there's a lot of windows. Almost every wall is covered in windows.
Yes.
So we had to protect the apartment from heat and sun damage, so we did install the sunshades. But as you can see over here, we had to do 5 smaller ones to make the curve.
That's our curved windows.
Yeah,
They're beautiful, but for window treatments,
they are tricky.
A design challenge.
Yeah, and you'll notice that the sofa over here has a curved back as well. So we sort of took advantage of the curve and did something that's more curvilinear.
But I also want to talk about the piano. A grand piano is one of those things that you see in a formal sitting room, a formal living room that is just so beautiful.
It's a great color. And everything here is very light, so I do like to add an element of black.
Absolutely, and nothing is more classic and elegant than a grand piano in a sitting area. So Joe, we've got a lot more to see, and we are going to check out more of this fabulous penthouse when we come back. Coming up on SoFlo Home Project, we gather in a great room with a unique design feature.
I'm Tat with FHIA, and we're going to walk around this beautiful home because the homeowners are considering getting rid of their shutters and replacing them with hurricane impact windows on today's SoFlo Home Project.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we're continuing our tour of this magnificent penthouse with Joe Fava of Fava Design Group. Joe, before the break, we looked at the formal seating area, but now we're in the more casual gathering space, and that is the great room. The great room is located at the back of the second level. This gathering space has plenty of room for large groups and a massive aquarium.
So this becomes one of our favorite features of the penthouse. Not often do you see an apartment with a floor-to-ceiling aquarium. So we kept this. This is an original to the space, but we of course added fresh fish, touched up the mural above, and here this is sort of like a curvilinear rotunda area, so it's perfect to have this cylinder shape aquarium here.
It really is.
I think our goal for this area is it is a little bit more casual.
Our next area is the casual dining space right here over to your right. Now, this is pretty large. I mean, in some homes, this could be the formal dining room, but here it is one of the several seated areas that you have to enjoy a meal.
Exactly. I feel like this area is more of the living sort of focal point for casual dining.
It is quite a large table, and what I love about this is that you have spectacular views. Did that influence the color palette of the newer design where you have all these soft seafoam greens and all of that coloration?
Anytime you have the spa palette, it sort of automatically calms you, makes you slow down a little bit. So I wanted to keep that feeling here as well.
Well, and you used the perfect word, spa palette. That is a timeless palette. It's classic.
People love it.
Beautiful, calming, and you've continued that spa palette right into the kitchen. And we are going to check that out next, but first, let's see what Tat Granata from FHIA has for us today.
We've talked a lot over this summer about how important it is to have that consultation with your contractor, and this is a great example of why it's so important. There's so many different openings in this home, and they already have some hurricane protection with the accordion shutters and different type of shutters. The home sits right on the intercoastal, so they're concerned about hurricanes. They already went through the large investment of putting shutters on, so now they want to start the discussion about does it make sense for them to change out the windows and doors with hurricane protection. I mean, it seems like a small thing, but one of the things that was discussed with this family was they have accordion shutters now. So cosmetically, do we want to get rid of the accordion shutters, especially back here where they have this beautiful yard and the views of the intercoastal? Do we want to have that clean look of just having hurricane windows? Because if that's the case, we want to make sure we choose a product that has a great warranty, because we're going to remove the shutters. So for the first time, the glass will be exposed to the threats of a hurricane, and we don't want anything to get damaged in case of a storm, and then they'd have to replace it after the storm. So a warranty was really important for them if they wanted to get rid of these shutters. So it's just part of the conversation. One of the very first things we see when we come to a home or we're visiting a home is the front entry door. And it's funny because it's probably the last thing homeowners consider when they're thinking about protecting their home for a hurricane. But for this family, it was still really important to not only change it for hurricane protection, but also give the front of the home a better cosmetic look. So we looked at a lot of different options. Again, had the discussion about different manufacturers and different styles so that we can really help them make the best decision for their family. That's really important when you're making this decision, not only choosing the right contractor, but really having a contractor that can show you a lot of different options, with their priority being helping you make the best decision for you. And I think what we've done with this family today is really help them and put their needs in front of ours to make sure they're making great decisions for what they're trying to accomplish. Back to you, Alena.
Thanks, Tat. So Joe, before the break, we talked about you using a spa palette, a very classic and timeless feel and color palette for South Florida. And you really brought it in nicely here. And we've got, of course, a very neutral look on the cabinetry and countertops.
The cabinets are actually from Downsview, and they are original. We have sort of a rub through in a ivory sand color. So we thought that that definitely went with our idea of incorporating the sea colors. So that remained the same. However, we did replace the limestone countertops with this new quartz.
And then of course the backsplash, right?
The backsplash is a glass tile, and you can see they pretty much encompass all the colors that we were bringing in. So in here, as you look around, it appears that there's no outlets,
Nope.
but there's actually quite a few, and each one is painted to replicate the color and the pattern of the tile.
One other thing to point out to our viewers is that we're speaking about timeless classic elements of design. And so you've got raised panel doors and applied moldings on these cabinetry doors. A very classic look that can be repainted, refinished for years to come.
Right.
Joe, so this kitchen is beautiful, classic, and elegant, and we've got more of those spaces to check out when we come back. Coming up next, we step into one of the most enjoyed spaces of this home. We're here today with Mike Lang from Air Around the Clock, and of course that's probably how you may know him. But Mike, there's something new that you guys can offer to homeowners.
Yes, there is, and we're really excited about it. We've started around-the-clock plumbing. So the same great service that we brought to air conditioning, we're going to bring to plumbing.
And that's such a great thing when you say speed, because between AC not working and then if your water heater is leaking, that could be the cause of a huge problem and flood in your home or condo. So speed when fixing and replacing those items is always a good thing.
Not just that, you're right. With leaking, like this is a 50-gallon tall Rheem water heater. As you know, we're #1 in Rheem in the state of Florida, but now we're going to do it in water heaters as well. So that's why I said we're going to have immediately get out to your home. Whether it doesn't just have to be the water heater, it could be a leaky toilet, it could be a leaky faucet, it could be any number of things that have to do with plumbing, have to do with leaking in your house.
All those things that could cause damage and flooding to a home or condo, around the clock plumbing
Right,
has
exactly.
got you covered.
It's going to take people a little while. I know all our customers, we sent out flyers and stuff to our customers and emails and everything like that, but I want the rest of everybody in South Florida to be aware that we do plumbing as well now.
Mike, so when someone has to replace their water heater, typically that is an unforeseen thing. You might notice a leak, and of course it's got to be changed out once that happens. Does Around the Clock Plumbing offer the same financing options that Air on the Clock does?
Yes, we do. We offer numerous financing plans to meet your individual needs in plumbing as well. We can get you approved 89% of the time. We have approval rate. Also, we have no credit financing as well with Y-Green. Don't be nervous. If something goes wrong on your house, don't hold back. Don't watch something leak in your house. Get us out there. We'll take care of it. We have technicians that are trained the same as Air Around the Clock. They're trained the same around the clock plumbing. We're going to make a big difference in the plumbing industry now.
Mike, now most importantly, how do homeowners reach Around the Clock Plumbing?
855 Plumber, real easy, 855 Plumber. We'll be out to you right away. Same day water heater installs right here.
Thanks again, Mike.
Thank you.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we're continuing our tour of this fabulous penthouse with Joe Fava of Fava Design Group. Joe, we have seen so many amazing spaces in this home, but now we're in the main bedroom, and I don't want to say it's like it's a whole wing. The main bedroom takes up half of the first level. This elegant suite has it all, including private areas for him and her. I'd like to start first with the actual bedroom itself. How did you change this from what was previously here?
Well, we wanted to take advantage of the view. When you look out, you can really see down the whole coastline.
Oh yeah,
so
it was great.
It is beautiful. So one of the things that we did is we repositioned the seating area. Believe it or not, before this whole seating section faced the other way.
I think this really gives you not only more opportunities for different fabrics and different furniture pieces, but obviously to enjoy the view itself. I want to share a little bit more with the viewers about what you changed here in terms of the bones. Were the moldings all here existing and all of those other sort of classic touches?
Again, we did keep the bones. The molding detail and the cove lighting is classic. I would say most of the change was the soft treatment. So we covered the walls in sort of like a textured silk.
Yes.
Just to make it a little bit more cocoon-like.
Also another classic silk look. Never is going to go out of style.
Never,
Always elegant. It feels like you're in like a cloud. It's soft, it's relaxing. You've got amazing views, so you don't need to add color in here when you have the ocean right outside just about every view.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. So much of this room is flanked by the water. Again, this whole redesign is taking classic elements and making them current, making it a little bit more transitional. We tried to keep that in mind with each selection that we made. The ottomans have sort of a whimsical fur texture.
Fur never goes out either. Love a
Never
little
goes
touch
out
of
of
fur.
style. And I think that the drapery is just very classic, and I love the tiebacks.
The carpet that you used doesn't have a traditional feel. It gives that sort of transitional vibe. It's sort of an abstract print.
The pattern actually, to me, almost mimics the clouds.
It
and
does.
We're so high up. You know, when you look out, even today on a clear day, there's still cloud formations everywhere.
Absolutely. And we've got a lot more to see in this whole suite. And we are going to check out the his and hers spaces when we get back. Next on SoFlo Home Project, we redefine his and hers spaces in the main room. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we're continuing touring this beautiful penthouse with Joe Fava of Fava Design Group. Joe, we're talking about the main bedroom here, the sleeping quarters, but there's a lot more to this whole suite. We've got his and hers separate wings.
Exactly. This is actually a huge area.
So let's talk about the bathrooms first, because they're both vastly different. I think really fitting for his and hers. So her bathroom has a beautiful seated makeup area, a soaking tub with views that are as magnificent as what we're looking at here.
Right.
I mean, you can't have a bad view.
So for the marble, we kept that. It's sort of like a peachy pink, very classic marble, but very soft and feminine.
Yes.
And sort of use the palettes of the marble as our building blocks. So the wallpaper is a hand-painted wallpaper that has more of like the a little bit of peach and pink undertones, very flesh, makes the skin shine.
Everything look good, yeah.
Exactly. And she did want a separate makeup area. So we have a vanity, very well lit, classic lights coming down.
All about the good lighting.
All about the good lighting. Just very chic. The faucets are all gold. And the soaking tub is amazing because, you know, that's just an amazing place to sit and have a bath and look out, you know, basically to the ocean.
So her bathroom is beautiful. And now we're gonna head over to his side of the bedroom, and you've got another great bathroom, but with a completely different feel.
Very different. You know, a lot of times the husbands get a little bit shortchanged when it comes to their quarters. And in this case, that wasn't the case. He's got a very luxurious office space with burled walnut, but we also incorporated a sort of like heather grays, which I feel like is very current. And his bathroom is actually almost Greek inspired.
I could see that, yeah.
Medallions. He's got a very large round tub, and he actually loved the combination of the black and sort of like a dark sand. That room to me also is very chic but very calming.
And to point out the timeless elements of what you've done there. Neutral palettes, not heavy on pattern, but textures. The textures sort of give that.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like this home is all about texture. Very little pattern, and there is pattern, we used it minimally. But I think that one of the things that these clients wanted was, again, the classic elegance. They wanted detail, and just to try to take a more current or contemporary spin on that.
Well, and that you definitely did. It was so great to tour just a portion of this condo, because we were talking about 10,500 square feet.
Right.
We've fit 2 episodes worth showcasing so many of the spaces and the way you were able to really bring a classic and elegant and timeless feel to the design. So thank you so much for sharing your beautiful work with us today.
Thank you so much for touring it.
And now let's take a look at what design inspiration we've got planned for you next week on SoFlo Home Project. Next week on SoFlo Home Project, we have all sorts of spooktacular ideas to fill your Halloween with frightful fun for the whole family.
Hey, Cookie, we got fresh meat!
We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and we look forward to seeing you next week for another episode of SoFlo Home Project right here on Local 10. And remember, there's no place like SoFlo Home.